Actual IBT TOEFL 1.
Passage 1. Listen to part of a lecture in an archaeology class. Archaeological sites.
Today, I want to talk to you about wonderful archaeological sites which recently have been opened to tourists and which may eventually be fertile ground for students interested in Roman, Greek, and Byzantine architecture. The sites I am referring to are in Libya and are as large, if not larger, than some locations in Italy and Greece. Along Libya's Mediterranean shores are 5 major archaeological sites. They are Leptis Magna, Cyrene, Sabratha, Apollonia and Ptolemais. Leptis Magna is a magnificent, beautifully preserved ancient city. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is the largest site in Africa, as well as one of the best preserved. This site, like others along the coast, which were covered by sand, have wonderful stories to tell. Archaeological excavation began here in the 1920s and has continued by archaeologists from many nations. Throughout the years of excavations in Libya, the British archaeology teams, with the help of local Libyans, have made enormous strides in uncovering artifacts, which are shedding more light on the Roman world and life in North Africa. At the present time, about 25% of the city has been excavated. Leptis was founded by the Phoenicians about 1000 BC as a trading center. Its location near the mouth of a harbour made the site a significant trading centre which rose to its peak during the rule of the Romans in about 200 AD. The city was subjected to attacks from desert peoples and by the 700s was no longer viable as a city. Entrance to the city is made through a magnificent, gigantic 4-way triumphal arch, which was built to welcome the arrival of emperors and other great people. Streets in Leptis were laid out in north-south and east-west grids, and the main directional streets cross under the arch. The theatre at Leptis was the first built in Africa, but is smaller than the theatre at Sabratha, which is the largest in Africa. And close to the harbour is the amphitheater, which was built about 56 AD and again enlarged in about 2000 AD. Most of the city's important buildings lie along the major streets, as they are in cities today. The city had public baths, a market, forum and basilica. Remains of houses and their tiled heating systems and extensive systems for supplying water have also been unearthed. In contrast to the greatness of Leptis, you have Ptolemais. It too was a coastal city and was the port for the city of Bath, and it too was found after uncovering layers and layers of sand. Although it is not certain, it is thought that the city was founded in the 6th or 7th century BC and then surrendered to Alexander the Great about 330. It became the capital of the province, but a major earthquake destroyed some of the city about 30 years later. Ptolemais was destroyed by the Vandals in the 400s and by the Arabs in the 600s. Ptolemais is much smaller than Leptis. Ptolemais only covers about 2.5 square kilometers. It also has narrow, right-angled streets, a theatre and huge underground water systems. Water which arrived through a channel from a source about 25 kilometers away was stored in 15 cisterns, the largest of which was about 6 meters deep. Many parts of homes have been excavated here, and there is evidence of wonderfully patterned mosaic floor and wall tiles. Only about 10% of this area, more windswept than Leptis, has been excavated. Again, British archaeologists have been instrumental in conducting much of the project, but recently there have been archaeologists from Poland and other countries who have begun work. We will save Apollonia, Sabratha and Cyrene for later lectures.
Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer.
Number 1. What is the lecture mainly about? Number 2. In the lecture, the professor describes the findings at Leptis Magna. Indicate whether each of the following is one which was mentioned. Click in the correct box for each phrase. Number 3. Why does the professor mention the Phoenicians? Number 4. According to the professor, what is the importance of the Cisterns?
Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
Today I want to talk to you about wonderful archaeological sites which have recently been opened to tourists and which may eventually be fertile ground for students interested in Roman, Greek and Byzantine architecture. The sites I am referring to are in Libya and are as large, if not larger than some locations in Italy and Greece.
Number 5. What does the professor mean when she says this?
Today I want to talk to you about wonderful archaeological sites.
Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
Only about 10% of this area, more windswept than Leptis, has been excavated. Again, British archaeologists have been instrumental in conducting much of the project, but recently there have been archaeologists from Poland and other countries who have begun work.
Number 6. Why does the professor say this?
Only about 10% of this area has been excavated.